So what I'm gonna do today is show you these two examples that I just purchased, my own money, not sponsored. The Ego Select Cut with Speed IQ. This has a monster 56 volt, 12 amp hour battery. And then kind of my own personal favorite would be Makita on their 40 volt max. It's actually a 36 volt lineup. Two different batteries in that one, each one of those being 4 amp hours. Both of these mowers have a cutting width of 21 inches and a ton of different features, but really focusing in on runtime, charge time, and did it get the job done. The first trial I ran was more of an average height, your weekly or every other week, depending on where you're at. We still had quite a bit of grass growth, but it was not nearly as extreme as number 2. So let's talk about the quoted runtime that the brands will market. This Ego says up to 1.5 hours of runtime, and this Makita says up to 1 hour runtime. But for the first trial, the Ego ran for 59 minutes and 30 seconds, so right at 1 hour or 66% of the quoted time that you'll see in some of the marketing literature, like at the store. Now the Makita came in at 24 minutes and 30 seconds, which is actually only 41% of that quoted runtime. So in this case, the Ego is delivering much closer to what you're gonna see at the store or in some of the marketing literature. So batteries are very critical when you're looking at these different mowers. So for trial 2, again, we're talking about 9-inch tall grass. It was actually a little bit wet. There were some stumps and also some large chunks of concrete in there, so it was not an easy trial. And both of these units would hit their actual torque limit and shut down, which needed to be reset. That happened many, many times during this actual trial, and it wasn't just with the Ego or just with the Makita. Now, starting things off with the Makita, I just started mowing kind of the perimeter and only got 12 minutes of runtime, which the torque was extremely high, but that kind of gives you a worst case scenario that something that says up to 1 hour actually might only make it as little as 12 minutes. So just keep that in mind depending on what type of yard and what type of application you have. Now with the Ego, it did much better. I felt it did have significantly more torque and equal a better cut because the blade wasn't slowing down as much as I saw on the Makita, which then led to some striping that I saw on the Makita in this trial number 2. And the Ego then lasted 27 minutes and 30 seconds. Again, not getting you a ton, basically would have came a little short on just mowing that 1/8 of an acre, but over twice the runtime as we saw with the Makita, which makes sense when we think about how much energy capacity each one of these have. So probably not fair to assess the normal weekly experience you would have with one of these models to that second trial. That is an extreme scenario, but it shows you how low the actual runtime can get, so you could plan that out if you actually have to cut a very tall lawn and knowing you're probably gonna have to charge the batteries or battery a couple times.